Continuing with Gottlieb's Solar Ride, another System 1 game. Just this absolutely fantastic piece of art in the back box with the horse and the girl riding it. Another great Gordon Morrison piece of art design. Has a target bank on the left to try and keep things interesting, as most of these System 1 games definitely had drop targets integrated. Gottlieb was definitely the drop target company at this point, and it tended to use them in many of its games. And you will see that. Close Encounters of the Third Kind is, of course, another Columbia Pictures licensed game here from Gottlieb. Great artwork with the spaceship in the back box kind of beaming down to the people on below. And in the butyrates there, the plastics, we are not alone. You can see the art kind of carries through to the playfield, and I love this too. This composition with the alien and the famous landscape behind. There are drop targets in this game. Also has the roto target. Gottlieb's Countdown, another one of the space-themed games we have at this auction. There are, I think, dozens of space-themed games at this auction. It's great to see a lot of them here together. You can see our space astronaut here is looking out the window at an unusual stellar formation, and I do think this is indication that there may be a little bit of hypoxia going on, which maybe doesn't bode well for our space traveler. But, you know, in kind of the era of Major Tom and all that, it kind of makes sense this might be a theme. Great art carries on, of course, into the playfields. It always does with Gordon Morrison's games. I love how the girl is there on the playfield. You're going to see an electromechanical or two that are reminiscent of that playfield approach that Gordon uses here in Countdown. Beautiful game. Now we get to go into some of the classic Sterns. This period of relatively early solid-state games from Stern includes some of the very, very best playing games in a row here. You're going to see a bunch of great titles, one after the other. Meteor is actually a movie license game from a movie that not too many people saw, but it isn't the movie license that makes this game. It is the amazing playfield layout. And this playfield of Meteor is one of the best, I think, designs of its era. There are the Meteor drop targets up at the top of the playfield, and above that the 3 rollovers that drop those targets when they're lit. You see this particular copy of the game actually still has the original Meteor bumper cap on it, which is cool. But you can't just wail on those drop targets to build your bonus. You have to also hit the 1, 2, 3 in the bottom of the playfield and avoid hitting shots that are going to make you drain. That, combined with a great multi-scoring spinner as well, made this just a tremendous playing game then and now. Always fun to play, and just the art integrates well with the theme, doesn't distract from the gameplay. Catacomb, one of the very best Sterns in so many ways. You saw a lot of back box bagatelles. This really raises that to the next level in the back box here, as you can see that. But great gameplay, great rules on this game, as well as an art package to match. One of the very best Stern designs, and a game that you don't see as often as you see others. And on that front, here is Orbiter 1, and Orbiter 1 kind of took things in pinball to a completely different level under the dual Stern Seaberg name that it was shown. This game actually had a completely different approach on the playfield, where instead of a conventional playfield, it was like the surface of the moon. The plastic playfield, the ball would move around, and you can actually start this and you kind of see some of the ball movement in this game. And as it is, oops, well, we're getting, here we go. You can see that it actually moves around the playfield in ways that are dictated by the shape of the playfield. Very, very cool design, and completely different from any other pinball machine ever made. So that's Orbitor 1. Alright, we'll give it a rest so it doesn't keep talking on our video. Flight 2000, another great player. You know, a very kind of easy to understand design where you're completing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 drop targets and shooting this labyrinth for blast off. You're actually loading kind of the stages of the rocket and building it up to the 3-ball multi-ball climax on this game. Art that matches the theme, a great piece of back box art, and you can definitely see in there some of the cool parts of that, and you can see who's being transported in Flight 2000 as everything breaks up around her. Great game, art and design. 9-ball stern, one of the most desirable sterns. This game combines a very cool rule set with the targets and the theme to make a game that's a continual favorite among players and to this day for very good reason. Stars, this is one of the earliest Stern games in the series, to be followed by Galaxy. And you can see the playfield has kind of a flow layout that kind of goes around as you shoot the spinner and come around to the side. The art is kind of straightforward in terms of how it reflects the theme, but it does it nicely. Big game, and this game, one of the most striking designs from the standpoint of the back box, and of course the width. This is a wide body game, and you are working to complete these cards with the numbers on the targets, and so it makes for a game where you really have to think as you're playing. It's a complex game to keep ahead and to actually complete the objectives, but just a beautiful game as well, both in the back box and throughout the execution of the whole pinball machine. You see the ruminants on the side a little bit as well. And one late game here, a premiere game of Genesis. This had from the era when the art had transcended into using photograph artwork, and so it's a little bit different. And this is how the playfield works in this game. It's got a lower playfield, kind of a lower animation thing that you can see through the glass as well. And finally, we're going to get a few of the later Gottlieb games here. And this is one of the best. This is Gottlieb's Counterforce. Space Invaders, the video game, had become successful, and they're trying to think of different ways that we could incorporate that Space Invaders theming into pinball play. And you're going to see an actual Space Invaders pinball machine much later. But this game kind of incorporates that same approach with drop targets and the series of kind of descending rocks that are going on that you have to hit. The art, again, captures the theme beautifully. This is a beautiful copy of it, too. Just a nice game. So, with the introduction and the success of video games, Caveman was introduced by Gottlieb as a very unique kind of title because it actually integrates the video game along with the pinball machine. There would be other games that did this later on, but Caveman does it in the way that it does, and that means that the top of the game actually has a joystick to play, so you can play the game. So it's a very interesting kind of example of trying to meet the video game world halfway. Mars God of War. This has an infinity backglass. You can see the mirrored backglass on this title kind of creates the kind of expand into infinity feature on this game. Beautiful art package, both with the warrior in the back box and then the layout here. And there it is. And the final solid state game in this particular sequence, Charlie's Angels. This is a System 1 game, a licensed theme of, again, from Columbia's thing. And you can see the theme is carried out here in the playfield and all the way through the game. Just a nice capturing of the Charlie's Angels theme for fans of the show. And we'll resume with the next set of electric and mechanical games on the next video.